if an atheist tells you there is no evidence for God, literally no evidence for God, then they belong in the emotional camp. There's no reasoning with them. There's no point to talking to them. Matter of fact, I will say the only point to engaging with an atheist who tells you there is no evidence for God is if you're in a group setting and there's other people around you that might benefit from hearing what you have to say, because that type of person has thrown rationality and objectivity out the window. I'll defend this in a minute, all right? The other type of atheist, however, will say something along the lines of, I am not persuaded by the evidence that is presented for God. Those are two very different comments, all right? Understand the difference between the two. To say evidence does not exist versus to say, I am not persuaded by the evidence. Let me just ask you to think about this on a broad level for a second, and what has to be true for your statement to make any sense and for your statement to be true. The truth of Christianity has been embraced and believed by literally millions and millions and millions of people, some of whom are some of the brightest and most advanced, most intellectual minds of history, all right? Of history, and not just of history, but even in modern times, all right? All these people have been persuaded of the truth of Christianity for thousands of years, about 2,000 years, all right? If we want to go back to monotheism and Jewish monotheism, we could go back even older than that, all right? And yet your belief is that all of those people, those millions and millions of people, including some very, very brilliant people, all thought that, even though there was zero evidence for it. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Try and take a step back for just a second and think about that. Does that sound rational to you? What's more rational to believe? That these millions and millions of people, some of these very, very intelligent people, who all value evidence and everything else in their lives, believe this one thing with zero evidence to support it, or that maybe you're mistaken and there actually is evidence in support of it. Maybe not evidence you'll find persuasive. That's a different argument. But maybe there actually is evidence for it. If that alone doesn't get you to at least question whether you're the rational one here, then I don't think anything will. I mean, on its face, if you just get that far, it should start to give you some serious questions, all right? The fact of the matter is there is evidence, plenty of evidence for the Christian God.